Group C, we have Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Well, I mean, I'm not a mind reader, but I'm pretty certain that two of you, unless you guys want to prove me wrong, on Saudi Arabia, you actually think Saudi Arabia will qualify from this group. Other than that, who are your top two teams you think will qualify from this group? Big Steve.
Argentina, Mexico.
Argentina, Mexico. So first of all, everybody, a lot of people, this is Messi's last World Cup. Messi's last World Cup. And a lot of people think, or are hoping Argentina, because the last South American team to win was Brazil in 2012. A lot of people are hoping that Argentina actually win the cup, Messi to bow out from the game, make everything sweet. You, Big Steve, you think Argentina, Mexico will finish top of the group. Do you think the World Cup winner is in this group by name Argentina?
That's a tough one, man. It's one of those ones. They could do it. They've got the skills to do it, but I don't think they'll win it. I don't think they'll win it.
Why? Because they're not the strongest, or you just don't see it happening in terms of style of play?
They're not. I'd say they're not the strongest. I wouldn't go style of play because they play some good stuff, but I don't think they're the strongest. I haven't checked their path to the final, but yeah, something tells me that they may just come up a little bit short.
Okay, coming up a little bit short, Mr. Hinder, you said Mexico is a good team and they qualified from the CONCACAF stages. Do you see any other situation of this group finishing other than Argentina and Mexico, or does Lewandowski have something to say?
Yeah, I'm 100% behind Poland. Mexico, not a chance, man. Lewandowski, it's got to be his last World Cup as well, unless he'll be playing into like his real twilight years. Plus, he's probably way fresher playing for Barca than he would have been playing for Munich. But I mean, it would be nice for Messi to win the World Cup, but I don't know. It'd be nice for anyone to win the World Cup, right? Like he's won everything else individually. I don't care if he wins the World Cup or not. He's still going to be one of the greatest players of all time. The group itself is Mexico and Poland will battle out for second. I would probably fancy Poland because they're definitely going to be more disciplined and more organised than Mexico. Mexico will be way fancier. Campos still one of my favourite ever football players.
I like it how Mr. Hinder always references, players from the past.
Yeah, well,
just to let people know that I've been around the block.
Campos, do you remember that fluorescent shirt, the surfboard inspired?
USA 94, man, that was the way.
Exactly, when we had no team in it. I say we had no team in it. I like Poland. I don't mind the Argentinian team, actually. They qualified second in their group. They were just behind Brazil, which is no problem. Neither of them lost any game. They both just, play to draw and play to get through. I think the interesting thing will be how will and where will Messi play from the Argentina point of view. Do they put him up top by... or do they put him wide, or do they just say, go out there and play wherever you want? You've got Martinez, you've got Dybala, Julian Alvarez is actually getting some game time at City as well. And it seems decent. Like, I know he's only played a little bit, but he's playing like one of the best teams in the Prem and scoring goals, right? So it's going to be interesting and how they organise and where Messi will go. I would, if I was the Argentinian manager, I would set up without Messi in my team, pick 10 players and then go Messi. Just pop on and play whatever you want and do whatever you want, because they're all going to have to do the running for him, right? Because he's not going to be that type of player. So,
well, you say that Big Steve is a professional in understanding how teams carry players, as we have done from previous episodes. Yeah. So, Big Steve, I mean, looking at Messi and the way he has evolved from last season to this season playing for PSG, he has pretty much dropped deep. It's pretty much a midfielder. And his game has, I want to say his game has improved, but the way he's bossing around with PSG and just adding to that midfield flair. Mr. Hinder has just said, if he was an Argentine manager, pick 10 players, then go Messi. 9 players, goalkeeper, then it goes Messi, pick wherever you want to play. Where do you think he'll be most impactful? Because he's definitely not going to play on the wing because he can't keep running back. So he's either up top or somewhere in the middle. where do you think we'll see him shine in this World Cup? And historically, he has never had a good World Cup, really.
True. There's always a first time. But if you get him operating in the number 10 role, not in the midfield, but in an advanced midfield role, that's where he will shine. That he just has the freedom to do what he wants. He can either do it himself or bring players in.
Like a poor man's Letizia. Is that what you're thinking, right?
Yeah. But yeah, he's got so much experience. He can either turn it on or he'll play for the team. Yeah, so yeah, Messi, to me, put him in the number 10.
Have you seen the lack of legs in that team potentially? Like Otamendi in defence, right? And then you've got obviously Messi, no legs at all. You've got Di Maria, no legs either. That could potentially be a massive problem if they decide to play with just flair and let it go. Whereas they've got some really good disciplined players that they could have in there that would really work quite well. So that's a team that could go, right, we're South American, we should be playing with that, that South American flair that we all expect, rather than that really tight-knit team. So yeah, one way, they're going to get through, at least.
The question is, everybody's been talking about Argentina. Once you see Argentina, it was Messi's last World Cup. We're hoping he wins it. But he is not he is the biggest star, but there are also very key players in that team. Mr. Indo, you mentioned Julian Alvarez. Nobody's talking about Dybala. Why? He's having a good season at Roma.
He's lazy.
He's lazy. But he's having a good season at Roma. I mean, you can't be lazy playing under Mourinho.
You just got to defend. That's what they've got to do under Mourinho, right?
Yep. And then you also have Lautaro Martinez. So, I mean, why is everybody just on and on about Messi, Big Steve?
Because he's Messi.
Yeah, but he's poor man's Letizia.
If he's in the side, he's going to play. All right? So, it's what he can bring out of those players. He's still going to be, if Argentina are going to win that World Cup, he still has to probably be the best player. Even though they've got good quality around them, it will still go through him. And it's whether he puts the ball in the back of the net himself or whether he sets people up. The fact that he's got other people around him, like Dybala, what's his name? We just said his name for Man City.
Alvarez.
Yeah, he feeding them in and stuff like that. He can do that. But yeah, to me, Messi's still the number one.
Okay, I mean, Mr. Hinder, you mentioned Dybala and talking about him being lazy. You don't see him being key for this tournament with Argentina?
No, I already said that Martinez for Inter Milan for me. You've got Joaquin Correa from Inter as well, and then Alvarez. The like Steve pointed out earlier, and you pointed out with regards to where Messi's now playing. So if you're going to put Messi at the top, but he's going to play as a number 10, would you put him as a front man? Because I see Dybala and Messi, if they're both going to play number 10s, you're playing Messi, right? And then it's kind of going to make stuff hard, which is why I would literally just pick 10 men of how I want to play and then just go, Messi, do your stuff, right? Because he can unlock the game and he can do it, but he's not going to do the running, and he's not going to do. And probably in all honesty, you probably don't want him to do. You want him to be on that ball, put the nice passes in, do the crosses, take some free kicks, score some goals. That's the kind of stuff you want him to do. You don't really want him to get ground down with running back 50 yards. Not because he's old, but because he's way better suited elsewhere on the pitch, if that makes sense, and freeing up for him to then dictate the play. It's interesting that he is one of the best players in world football, not just the amount of goals he scored, but because he can actually play football as well. And which is when he's dropped deeper, I'm not going to compare him to say he's the same as Rooney, but Rooney dropped deeper as well, and still had some cracking years in him. Hopefully Messi won't end up, almost a central defensive midfielder and still stays in the front half of the pitch, because that's definitely where he is definitely best at. But I think Steve's right. The ball's going to be through him. He's going to be pivotal to regardless of where they go. They've got a couple of games where they could rest him though, and to keep him fresh for the bigger games, even with that good quality lineup that they've got in there. And fair play to Alexis McAllister from Brighton getting in that team as well. He's got to be chuffed to bits.
Oh yeah, he must. He probably starstruck in that team, just walking around, just going, "Oh my God, who are these people?" Those people.
And the other thing is, once Messi's on the team sheet, the opposition are gonna fear him.
Yeah, or want to crunch him.
Yeah, I mean, one of those. Either way. Well, we'll see how. So, just for clarity, Mr. Hinder, you're going Argentina and Poland, and Big Steve, you're going Argentina, Mexico. Okay. Well, we shall see how that group goes.
More things